Hello BookTube, it's Louise, the Bighaired Bookworm. It's lovely to see you. What a beautiful day we have here in Cambridge. It is blue sky and sunshine, and I thought I'd come and I would show you my books that I got in January. They're a fine mixture. I'm actually quite proud of the mixture that I've got. Not so proud about the amount I've got. I seem to have gone slightly overboard on the buying, but some of them were gifts as well. So I will show you what I've got and you will see the fabulous mixture that I have. So the first three here, I'm not holding those up very well, are Karen Marie Monning rather than moaning, and they are Beyond the Highland Mist, To Tame a Highland Warrior, and The Highlander's Touch. They are the beginning of her series. She did Blood Fever, which is the Michaela Lane series, Blood Fever, Fey Fever, Dream Fever, whereas these are about a schism in time, and somebody, normally a lady from this time, comes back and goes into the 16th, 17th century in Scotland, and they're all based in Scotland. And I suppose it's like Outlander, if anybody knows that programme and those books. So whether or not, I don't know who came first, but they're very good. They're very kind of contemporary romance. They're really quick reads. They're nothing to worry about kind of books. And I really felt in the mood for something really quick and really fast to read. And I saw a review of them and they look great. They look great. The next two, I actually used a voucher for. My mother-in-law, my fabulous mother-in-law, gave me a voucher in, I would say, October, actually, and I've been saving it for something special. And the two books that I bought, I actually bought my son a book as well, but these are the two that I've got, and they are Penguin Black Spined Classics, and they're the Quran and Buddhist scriptures. Now, you probably are not used to seeing on BookTube people saying that they bought these things, but this year I'm making an effort to read a lot more religious fiction and a lot more religious scripture. I'm not a Muslim and I'm not a Buddhist, but I don't know enough about them, and they impact our world. These religions impact our world so greatly, and I believe that we all suffer from great misunderstandings and misapprehensions because of our ignorance, and I'm changing that in my own life. And I decided to start with buying these two books, and is that not beautiful? Most beautiful mosaic on the cover of the Quran. And I don't know if they're good editions. That's supposedly, here we are, the Buddhist scriptures is supposedly a very nice edition. It's recommended in a lot of religious courses if you were to study religion in any way. So I thought I'd get that one. I have read one or two other Buddhist texts, but I haven't, and I've read novels based on the Quran and about the Quran, but I thought I'd actually get the word itself and I would start reading them. Obviously they're not books that you're going to read in a month. They are books that are going to take some time over the year, but I will report back as to where I'm getting with those books and how much I'm not sure about how much I'm learning from it, but whether or not I'm finding it easy to read them and how I'm reading them. So at some point I'll do a whole series on that. The next one was a gift. This was a gift from my beautiful husband. Thank you very, very much, Jonas. This is the Penguin Cloth Bound edition of Pride and Prejudice. So as I said in my December haul, that I was going to start collecting them, and he bought me the Count of Monte Cristo for Christmas, and he bought me this, Pride and Prejudice, which is one of my favourite Jane Austens. Of course, how can we have a favourite Jane Austens, but it is beautiful. I have got the Penguin Black Classic edition, but it is just gorgeous. Can you see? The light's a bit shiny. Perhaps that's better. If I put it right by my head, you can see it fine. But yes, there we go. It is gorgeous. So I'm going to reread that. I planned on rereading Pride and Prejudice this year anyway, and so I definitely will get round to rereading that. On audiobook, I bought the last Harry Potter, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So I just thought I'd show you the book to finish off my audio listening to them, narrated by the gorgeous Stephen Fry. And that's the slightly thinner, but I report back when I've listened to all of that. Then I gave myself a little wander on the internet and I found these books. I'd found an amazing proof copy of Cinder by Marissa Myers, which I had read, and so I then bought Scarlet, which is the second one. So Cinder was a retelling of Cinderella in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and this is Scarlet, and this is Little Red Riding Hood. So this is a retelling. So there are 4 in the series. First one is Cinder, second one is Scarlet. Okay, so that's that. And then, so this is what I mean by unusual books, a wide variety of books. I bought this, Gloria Steinem, My Life on the Road. I was watching something and I suddenly realised I hadn't read many memoirs or autobiographies or biographies recently. And I read a lot. I do actually really like them. Both famous people and non-famous people, either political biographies or historical biographies or autobiographies. Memoirs, I don't read that many memoirs. But I thought I'd give this one a go. And I was quite interested, actually, as to what's the definition between a memoir and an autobiography. And reading this, it definitely feels like she's picking a theme throughout her life. So she's not telling you exactly what she did when, which I suppose is the autobiography side. Memoir is looking at a theme and I suppose that's the difference. So anyway, it's fascinating. I saw an interview with her by Oprah Winfrey on Super Soul Sundays. Then I was listening to some podcasts about memoirs and I thought, yeah, I've got to give this a go. She is fabulous. Nobody needs me to say that. She is utterly, utterly marvellous. The oddest thing about this book, though, is that she really looks like one of my niece. I couldn't believe it. When I got the book, I was like, my God. She really looks like my Shannon, my niece. But it says one of our most important voices for human rights and women's liberation and feminism. She's fabulous. So anyway, I've started reading that. I'm reading a chapter a day and it's inspiring and motivating and provoking, and she's a fabulous writer. You can tell her journalistic background. And in that collection, so I got a YA fairy tale retelling, I got a memoir by a leading feminist, and I got a great American novel, one that's come out that's very shiny in this sun, and that is Purity by Jonathan Franzen. There's a lovely hardback. I don't normally buy hardbacks like this, but it was half price. So, and I just thought it is such a wonderful, dramatic cover. Reading it, it is about, what does it say? It's about, if I pick up some names, Californians and East Germans, good parents and bad parents, journalists and leakers. And he follows their intertwining paths through landscapes as contemporary as omnipresent internet and as ancient as the war between the sexes. So that is that. I'm looking forward to giving that a go. I hope to get to that soon, because I think it's one of those books, actually, the longer it sits on your shelf, the further away you are from reading it. So I think it's one of those that you need to grab up. And actually, this book will tell you one of my other hobbies. Crochet again. Oh, I got the real shiny here. So crochet wild animals. I knit and I crochet and I quilt and I sew. Very good. Very crafty I am in many ways. So yes, I bought this because I love doing these. My son loves me doing these as well. And that beautiful elephant. I'm actually just started that elephant to make for somebody who would like me to. The next lot, let me just shimmy them out the way. Okay, so I got these from Tesco, one of our big supermarkets, 2 for £7. The Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. It was recently in Waterstones. It was one of their picks and one of their highlighted books. I had bought The Humans, which I showed you, and I couldn't remember the name of the book where he talks about his very honest appraisal about his depression. And this is it. What does it mean to be truly alive? So it's more than a memoir, but it is about mental illness, in particular, I think depression. I don't know whether it goes into other ones, but it is from his perspective, and I'm fascinated to read it. I'm absolutely fascinated to read it. And the other one I got in that was The Taxidermist's Daughter by Kate Moss. Kate Moss has written quite a few books that I've read. In particular, I read Labyrinth, and I really liked it. And what's the other one that she wrote? Citadel. So I have read Labyrinth and I've read Citadel, and I liked her writing. I read a lot of her articles and her blog. I think she has done a blog for one point, so I really do like her. It says a Sussex 1912, always good, love that time. 1912, a Sussex graveyard. Villagers gather on the night when the ghosts of those who will not survive the coming year are thought to walk, and in the shadow a woman lies dead. A gothic novel. Got to be good. That's got to be good for the kind of a wintry, blustery, cold weekend. That has that written all over it. Now, the other ones are my most recent purchases. And I went into one of our discount bookshops yesterday. I went and had my eyes tested. They are looking fabulous. I was told that they are perfect. Well, I'm horrifically short-sighted, but they are perfect in their health. And I went into the Works, and it's a discount store. Does a lot of crafts and books and non-fiction and fiction and stationery, and its books. I find it sometimes its books are great, and it obviously buys the ends of lines from. I don't know whether it buys them straight off the publishers, but it buys them. Oh, this light! I'm not sure about this light. Let me move here. So can I just move it slightly? No better. No, which way do I need to go? That way. That's slightly better, isn't it? Sorry about that. It's absolutely glaring. Oh, it's lovely and sunny. So I went in, and they were doing a getting rid of clearance of stock. So they had all their paperbacks out. Obviously, they're ones that they're keeping behind as well. And you could buy 3 for £5. Oh, I was like, oh, so I had a good mooch. They have quite a rum selection. Some of them you kind of think, yeah, I don't know who's going to buy that, but people do, and everybody has their own tastes. But I was so pleased because 2 books that I was going to buy, in fact one I was actually going to go to Waterstones or Heifer's, our other big bookstall in Cambridge, and actually going to go and buy and see if I can find it and buy it. So I'm just going to move it to see otherwise if I can get out of this glare. Not really. Anyway. Ooh. And I thought I would... And actually, they were there, and I could get them in the 3 for £5 range. So the one I was actually going to go and buy was Shadow Study by Maria V. Schneider. Look at that! So this is the in the Chronicles of Ixia novel. This is the 6th. Okay, the first 3: Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study, and then it's Sea Glass. I can't remember the 3. Stormglass, Sea Glass and Spyglass. They all follow... well, the first 3 follow Yelena Zaltana. They are a fantasy, YA fantasy series. They're thoroughly good. She's fabulous. I hate this cover. The last covers, which you can actually see at the back here. Can you see those? They're really nice. And then they've gone for this range. Not keen on it. But I was going to buy it. I was going to buy this. I've had it on my wish list since I saw it came out, which was about a couple of months ago. And there it was, in the 3 for £5. The other one that I saw that I was actually had on my wish list is Angel Fall. They Have Arrived. I think that's a lovely cover by Susan E. Now, I didn't really know what this is about. I just knew that it was all over the internet, and it says here the official print edition of the internet phenomenon. So I guess, was it fan fiction? I don't know. I shall tell you after I've read it. It's the first in a trilogy. They actually had the 3rd in the trilogy there as well, but I didn't buy it because I thought, well, if I'm not that keen on it, then I've got another book that I'm not that keen on. But so my 3rd one out of the 3 for £5 was this, The Relic Guild, of which I know nothing about, except it says, magic caused the war. Magic is forbidden. Magic will save us. And it has a labyrinth on it. And as you can tell, I do like a book about a labyrinth. I love those kind of books. So I shall go for that. And oh, that's better if I do it like that. So yes, It's quite spooky with that eye in the middle. But it's a magic, thrillery book. That'll be good. And then, as a bit of a wander through, I had a few pennies and a bit of time to spare, and I had saved my pennies to go to the bookshop and not buy discounted books, but actually just have a good mooch through. I had a bit of time. I thought, well, I'll have a good mooch through and I will see what's out physically, because it's really nice. January is not a big publishing month, but there are some that come out in January. February and April would appear to be the big months this year, at the beginning of the year. So I decided, well, I shall have a little wander through and see what's come out. And there were 2 books that I spied and that I bought, and I'm very pleased with both of them. And I can't wait to read these 2. These are the ones that I want to read out of all the ones I've got. Anyway, so the first one I have got is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This was all over BookTube in hardcover towards the middle and end of last year. In particular, the BookTube Kitty G absolutely loved it, as Eleanor reads books, both of those. A lot of people read it and a lot of people loved it. It is a sci-fi ship opera, space opera, but apparently it's fabulous. And I love it, and I like the cover, and it's in paperback, and as soon as I saw it I thought, well, I've got to have that. And the last one I got, I just think looks amazing, and I saw it on the science, on the fantasy table, and I was like immediately drawn to it. And it is called Dreamwalker by J.D. Oswald, and it is the Ballad of St Benfro, Book 1. I know little else about it, apart from, obviously, I'm thinking it features dragons. But that is just lovely. I just think that's gorgeous. And I bought that as well. So those are my books. So I have a fine selection, I have YA books, I have quite a few sci-fi, I have some literary fiction, I have some memoirs. I'm really pleased with my selection. In February I'm going to buy a lot less because of the amount I've got, and also I've just seen the time of this, how long it's been going on. So thank you for your patience, everybody. What have you been reading? What's your book that you've got on the side that you are thinking, I can't wait to read that? That's what I want to hear. So please, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to tell me what your book is that you're reading at the moment, I would love to know. Right, bye bye.